Federal investigators are also looking into whether an Amtrak engineer was distracted by someone else in the locomotive when the train careened off a highway overpass yesterday in Washington state. 3 people were killed, including 2 members of a rail advocacy group. About 100 were treated at hospitals. 10 have serious injuries. The train was traveling 80 miles an hour in a 30-mile zone when it left the tracks. Carter Evans is in DuPont, Washington.
Today, cranes lifted the heavy, crumpled train cars that littered the I-5 freeway near Tacoma. New photos from inside the train show the mangled passenger compartment. The train derailed as it was approaching a curve. The front locomotive jumped the tracks and went over an embankment. Several passenger cars followed, some even careening off a bridge onto the highway below. The National Transportation Safety Board is examining the train's data recorder.
Preliminary indications are that the train was traveling at 80 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour track.
Amtrak has offered no explanation as to why the train was traveling at more than twice the speed limit. But radio transmissions after the crash suggest there was another person in the locomotive with the engineer, which could have been a distraction.
Our gentleman who was in for the head-end trip today seems to have perhaps a broken femur.
For the most part, the control of that train is in the hands of the engineer.
Russell Quimby is a former railroad accident investigator for the NTSB. He says investigators will focus on the engineer's actions.
The engineer being asleep or distracted. We could also have some kind of medical issue that cropped up.
Daniel Konzelman and his girlfriend Alicia Hoverson were driving when they saw the train wreck and immediately jumped out to help.
Everybody that was inside was either killed or pinned underneath the train. Yeah, it was pretty sobering.
Years before yesterday's first run, a local mayor sued to make the route safer. He lost. In light of yesterday's accident, Lakewood Mayor Don Anderson now wants even bigger changes.
What would you like to see happen?
I'd like to see it go back to the old route. I think it's safer, it's more scenic. Every once in a while, government has to back up and say, we made a bad decision, we can fix it.
While yesterday was the first commercial trip on this section of track, transit officials tell me they've been testing it since last spring with a variety of trains at different speeds. And Jeff, they tell me there were no issues.
Carter, thanks very much.